Hi, I'm Gohar Vardanyan, and today is Monday, so I'm here with another etude. Today we're going back to Matteo Carcassi. This time I'm going to play number 6 from his 25 studies. So I like to use this etude because of the melody that's in the bass. It forces you to learn to play and to shape and phrase a melody just by playing the thumb consecutively, one after the other. So here, for example, of course you have the top, which sort of dictates the movement, where to push, where to hold back, and then here. And those notes need to ring. Those are the half notes that need to ring. But the bass is really what's going to grab attention. You have and that's what you need to learn to shape with the thumb. So for example, that's a slight crescendo with a bit of a rubato in the beginning. So I wasn't playing it completely straight. Which will be the tendency when you first learn it. But after a while, try to sing the melody and shape it. I'm playing all of the thumbs free stroke here. I wouldn't really recommend playing it rest stroke in this case because you do have notes that are on adjacent strings and you can't really do that rest stroke. So you don't want to have an occasion where it's lumpy sounding or limping because you did rest stroke, free stroke, and it will sound too heavy with the rest stroke regardless of whether you have the other notes or not. So I would suggest you playing the thumb all free stroke. And you have to make sure you're synchronizing the actual stroke in the right hand with the placement of the left hand, so that it sounds legato. Otherwise, if you place one before you pluck the other, or if you put your thumb down before you're ready to play, it'll kind of sound like separated. It's hard for me to actually imitate that because I've trained myself so much not to do it. We have to make sure it sounds all connected. And either one of the hands prematurely touching the string before it's ready to be replucked by the other note. So, and when you're doing the rubato, both hands need to follow that, so that again one hand doesn't get behind the other. Now the rest of it is pretty straightforward. The melody switches to the top, and it kind of flips. If before you had the half notes at the top, and then you have the half notes at the bottom. And so on. And it's important to make sure you hold them. The whole thing has counterpoint. There are two voices happening at the same time, and you have to keep track of both of them. That becomes even more obvious later on down the piece when you have this. And what happens oftentimes is people cut this and it sounds something like this, because they're become preoccupied with this coming in, and they forget that the A with the fourth finger needs to ring. So even though this is more difficult to hold this pinky here while you arrange your other fingers, it's important to learn to do it so you have an independent line at the top and a bass. And so on. So put together. And so on. So when you learn this, first try to shape the individual lines on their own. Try to make them sound as musical as you can. Play them obviously separately so you know what the top is doing and what the bass is doing. And you put it together. And so on. And you would do that for the entire piece. You can do it in sections, which is recommended in the beginning, so that you can actually remember what happens. And then eventually you can play the whole entire piece, just the top voice, just the bottom voice, just to kind of get an idea of how they're connected and how they function together. And I'll see you next Monday with another etude and another technical element you can work on. Thank you so much for watching.